My child, something unseen has just taken place in the shadows. Not one, not two, but 4 souls have tied themselves together with one common purpose. You. They believe tomorrow belongs to them, but heaven has already stepped in. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will shift the way you see everything around you. My beloved, I am speaking to you tonight not to alarm you, but to awaken you. A strange and unholy agreement has been made in the unseen realm. 4 people whose hearts were once far apart have now become one in intention. They are connected not by loyalty, not by friendship, but by darkness. Their bond was not formed in truth, but in fear. And the name written in the center of their alliance is yours. Do not let that sentence create panic in your heart. I am not telling you this to make you afraid. I'm telling you this so that you may stand prepared. Because what looks like an attack is, in reality, the unveiling of what was already known to me. I have watched them for some time. Their hearts were restless. Their envy toward you was silent, but it was growing. Each one carried their own bitterness. One was jealous of your light. Another resented your strength. Another couldn't stand your peace. And the 4th simply couldn't understand how you kept rising, even when life tried to break you. But instead of healing their own wounds, they chose to join hands in anger. You became their shared target because your favor disturbed their darkness. Your peace reminded them of what they lost. Your resilience revealed what they refused to build in themselves. So they gathered, not in daylight, not in honesty, but in secrecy. They believe tomorrow is their moment. But what they don't know is that I, the Lord your God, saw them before they even spoke. I saw the place they met, the time they agreed, and the words they whispered. They think no one knows, but heaven saw every detail. Their plan isn't built on truth, it's built on fear. And fear is a weak foundation. It always collapses under the weight of light. When darkness joins hands, it believes it's powerful, but it forgets that even a small flame can scatter a room full of shadows. My child, listen carefully. This alliance is not simply human, it is spiritual. The thread connecting them is invisible, woven through bitterness, resentment, and pride. It is not your words that stirred them, it is your presence. You carry a light that irritates their demons. You walk with grace that exposes their motives. You stand in peace that disrupts their plans. Do not mistake this revelation for danger. It is divine strategy. I reveal this now not so you may worry, but so that you may recognize that heaven is already defending you. When I show you what the enemy is planning, it means victory is already written. I know you've been feeling it lately. That heavy air, that strange restlessness, that sense that someone is speaking your name in places you've never been. That isn't paranoia. It's discernment. Your spirit knows something is stirring, but that feeling isn't sent to scare you. It's a call to prayer, because when you pray, you don't just talk, you shift things. You break threads that were tied in darkness. You activate angels that stand ready for your defense. Now let me show you what truly happened. It was not in a crowded place. It was quiet, cold, almost forgotten. The air itself held its breath. 4 figures arrived one by one. Their faces looked calm, but their hearts were storming. The first spoke with trembling hands, saying, "Enough waiting. Tomorrow we move." The second nodded quickly, eyes dark with envy. "I know where they'll be," she said. The third stayed silent, his thoughts clouded with jealousy. And the 4th, the most dangerous, smiled. But his smile was not joy. It was satisfaction. The satisfaction of finally feeling united with others in hate. And as they spoke, the atmosphere changed. The ground beneath them stirred. The wind grew heavy. And though they could not see it, something unseen wrapped around them, an invisible thread that tied their intentions together. It whispered, "Take everything. Leave nothing." At that very moment I was watching. My presence filled that field before they even finished speaking. They thought their secret belonged to them, but their words echoed into the heavens. And when I heard them declare, "Tomorrow we act," I spoke one word: no. The moment I said it, the spiritual realm shifted. What they bound together in darkness began to tremble. Because when I say no, every plan built against my child loses its power. When I speak protection, even the unseen must obey. Archangel Michael rose immediately at that command. His armor burned with light. His sword gleamed with holy fire. He looked toward the earth and said, "They plan to strike at dawn." And I answered, "Then guard my child until dawn breaks." From that instant, a wall of light surrounded you. Angels took their places around your home, around your heart, around your thoughts. You were covered before you even knew danger existed. Even your dreams were placed under watch. Every corner of your being was sealed in divine protection. You may have felt restless tonight, but that stirring in your chest wasn't fear. It was awareness. Your spirit sensed the war in the unseen, and while they plot in silence, you are being shielded in peace. So when tomorrow comes, do not tremble. Walk with confidence, for what they plan will crumble before sunrise. They will argue instead of act. They will turn on each other instead of turning on you, because I am sending confusion into their camp. Just as I did for my chosen ones long ago, they believe they will wake to power. Instead, they will wake to division. Their alliance will break before the first light touches the sky. So sleep tonight without fear, my child. Because while they whisper, I'm working. While they plan, I am preparing. And while they join hands, I am untying their agreement one thread at a time. My child, while the world slept, heaven did not. The night you felt restless, uneasy, or unable to find peace, that was not coincidence. It was the moment the heavens opened and the armies of light began to move for your sake. My beloved, as the night deepened, the earth fell silent, but the spiritual realm grew alive. Angels stood in position, watching over every breath you took. You didn't see them, but the very air around you shifted. The wind carried whispers of divine command, and every dark plan formed against you began to unravel before it could even touch your life. You see, when I say I will protect you, I do not send comfort, I send power. The instant those 4 souls agreed to come against you, I released my defense. They had their meeting in secret, but my angels were already standing guard in open authority. Archangel Michael, the warrior of light, rose first. His sword burned brighter than the morning star. His voice shook the unseen. "Father," he said, "they move at dawn." And I answered, "Then guard until the dawn." With that single command, thousands of angels took flight. Their wings stretched across cities. Their presence filled the night sky like silent fire. They surrounded you, not symbolically, but literally. Around your home, your heart, your thoughts, even as you lay sleeping, my protection wrapped around you like a cloak woven from peace itself. Every corner of your space was fortified. You may have felt something that night, a strange warmth, an odd stillness, or a stirring in your chest that made you whisper my name. That was your spirit responding to what your eyes could not see. You were being shielded. While darkness whispered plans, heaven whispered, "Not this one." While they plotted destruction, angels began constructing deliverance. While they tried to join hands, their unity started to fracture under my gaze. My child, listen closely. You were never unprotected for even a second. I did not wait for their move. I moved before them. The moment they said, "Tomorrow," I said, "Now." And at that very hour, Archangel Michael descended closer to the earth. He did not come alone. The armies of heaven followed. They did not carry swords of iron, but of light. Every step they took scattered shadows. Every wing beat silenced whispers of harm. In the unseen realm, a clash began. not between men but between intentions. The demons that had tied those four together began to tremble. They realized their plan was no longer secret. They tried to hide, but Michael's light reached every corner of their darkness. Chains of confusion began wrapping around them. Words they once agreed on began to dissolve. Fear entered their unity, and you, my child, though unaware of the battle, began to feel lighter. Peace started filling the places that worry had once occupied. The heaviness you carried earlier in the week began to lift, though you couldn't explain why. That was heaven, shifting the weight from your shoulders. Even your dreams that night were under watch. No dark whisper could cross the barrier I built around you. I instructed angels to guard even your sleep because I wanted you to rest while I worked. The world believes battles are fought with noise and movement, but in the spiritual realm, the greatest victories are silent. While you slept, the enemy's plans turned into confusion. One forgot his role, another doubted the purpose. A third began questioning the alliance itself. The fourth, the darkest, began to feel pressure in his chest, not from guilt, but from my presence entering the space he thought was secret. Do you see, my child? You do not need to chase revenge. You need only to stand in stillness. When I defend you, I use both mercy and power, and my mercy is stronger than their malice. As the night went on, I whispered your name through the winds, not to awaken you, but to seal you. Each time your spirit heard that whisper, your protection grew stronger. The angels around your home glowed brighter. The enemy grew weaker. When I said, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper," it wasn't a promise of comfort. It was a declaration of reality. Weapons may form, but they cannot function in the presence of divine light. Darkness can plan, but it cannot perform when angels stand in the way. So yes, there were whispers spoken against you that night. There were steps taken. There were words written. But before any of it reached you, my hand intercepted them. Messages failed to deliver. Devices glitched. Energy drained. Thoughts twisted into doubt. Plans fell apart mid-sentence. That wasn't coincidence. That was interference from heaven. And when the dawn began to approach, when the first light touched the horizon, I commanded my angels, stand still, because by then, their alliance had already collapsed. Their agreement, which was sealed in darkness, could not survive the presence of light. My child, I want you to understand this deeply. You were never in danger. You were under demonstration. This was not to harm you. It was to show you what divine protection truly looks like. The night they planned your fall was the same night I built your foundation higher. The same moment they said, "Tomorrow we act," heaven said, "Tonight we guard." That's why you woke with unexpected peace, even before knowing why. Because your spirit felt what your mind hadn't yet understood. The battle was already over. So when the morning comes, rise gently. Open your window, feel the light on your skin and whisper, "Lord, thank you for fighting what I never saw." Those simple words will echo through eternity. For every victory of heaven begins with gratitude. Now sleep in peace tonight, my child. Knowing this truth, heaven does not wait for danger. Heaven moves before danger forms. And the same angels that guarded you tonight will stand by your side until dawn, ready, watchful, unshakable. My child, do you know what happens when evil unites against light? It begins to destroy itself. For when darkness joins hands, it forgets that its strength depends on secrecy. And I am the God who sees in secret. Tonight, I will show you how their unity fell apart before it ever touched you. My beloved dawn was still hours away when their alliance began to crumble. What they had built on deceit could not endure even a moment of truth. I watched each of the four as they prepared in silence, believing their plan would succeed. They did not realize that heaven had already written confusion into their steps. The first sat alone, restless. He rehearsed his words, crafting lies he planned to speak against you. But the more he practiced, the less sense his thoughts made. His tongue grew heavy, his confidence faded, and every sentence began to contradict itself. He told himself he was tired, but it wasn't fatigue. It was divine interference. An angel stood behind him, placing confusion upon his speech so that nothing harmful could leave his mouth. The second, the woman, stood before her mirror, trying to hide her guilt behind a calm smile. But even her reflection refused to cooperate. As she looked at herself, she felt something strange. Her own image trembled, her breath caught, and her eyes filled with unease. Deep inside, her conscience whispered, "Stop before it's too late." But pride spoke louder, pushing her forward. She picked up her bag and walked out, never noticing that the light at her door flickered as a sign heaven was watching every step. The third man, the silent one, rose before dawn and drove toward the meeting point. The road seemed clear, but his spirit was not. His hands gripped the wheel tightly, and the closer he came, the heavier his chest felt. He kept checking the mirror, sensing eyes on him, though he saw nothing. He was right. Two angels traveled beside him, unseen guardians ensuring that he would not go beyond the boundary heaven had set. And the fourth, the leader of them all, the one who carried the most darkness, he sat still, plotting his final move. He thought himself clever, wise, and untouchable. But behind him stood another presence, not human, not gentle. It was the whisper of darkness itself, feeding his pride. Yet suddenly that whisper was silenced by a voice far greater. It spoke only one word: enough. That word carried the sound of authority that no shadow could withstand. It echoed through the spiritual realm like thunder made of light. The air around him shifted, heavy and electric, and in that moment, Archangel Michael stepped onto the battlefield. At the same time, you, my child, turned in your sleep. You didn't fully wake, but your spirit felt something, a peace wrapping around you like warmth in winter. That peace was not imagined. It was my presence drawing closer. Michael stood beside your bed, his sword glowing faintly, not to frighten but to guard. Around him, thousands of angels formed a barrier. They needed no words, no shouts, no noise. Their silence was power. Their stillness was victory. And while you slept, the invisible war reached its peak. The alliance they formed began to twist in on itself. The first man lost his confidence completely. His notes scattered from his hands, carried away by the wind. The woman was delayed by a stranger's simple kindness, a conversation she couldn't escape, one that unknowingly kept her from arriving. The third man's car stalled in the middle of the road. No matter what he tried, the engine refused to start. And the fourth, the one who believed he controlled everything, suddenly felt the weight of something greater pressing on his spirit. His pride began to tremble. He heard whispers that weren't dark anymore, whispers of warning, of mercy, of repentance. He felt a chill through his bones and turned, sensing a presence he could not comprehend. Archangel Michael stood there, towering, radiant, calm, yet fierce. The archangel did not strike him. He only said, "You will not touch what belongs to God." At those words, every dark power that fueled their unity broke apart. The unseen thread binding them snapped. Their confidence vanished, their hearts filled with doubt and mistrust. Instead of meeting, they argued. Instead of moving forward, they turned on one another. The first accused the second of betrayal. The second blamed the third for failure. The third suspected the fourth of deceit. And the fourth, the one who started it all, suddenly found himself alone, his allies scattered, his plan in ruins, his spirit trembling beneath the weight of divine authority. By the time the sun touched the horizon, their alliance no longer existed. What they intended as destruction became their own downfall. They couldn't explain it, how everything they built with careful planning dissolved without a visible reason. But heaven knew. You, my child, woke up that morning unaware of the scale of what had happened while you slept. You only felt light. You noticed that the heaviness you'd been carrying for days was gone. You breathed differently. You smiled without knowing why. That was peace, returning to its rightful place inside you. Do you see now? You didn't need to fight in the flesh because the war was fought in the spirit. You didn't have to raise your voice because I had already spoken on your behalf. The alliance that was meant to break you became the lesson that built you. The enemies that sought your fall became instruments of your testimony. They thought they were clever, but they became proof of my presence in your life. My child, remember this truth. No alliance formed in darkness can withstand divine light. No secret meeting can outlast revelation. No plan against you can move faster than my protection. So walk forward today with calm authority. You are not a victim of their plans. You are a witness of my power. Their unity was temporary, but your covering is eternal. And when people ask how you survived this unseen battle, you will say simply, because heaven moved before they did. My child, the night that tried to break you has now bowed before your dawn. What they meant to bury you with has become the soil of your rebirth. The alliance that rose in darkness has fallen in daylight. And now it is your season to rise. My beloved, the day that began with fear has turned into revelation. The light you see now is not just sunlight, it is spiritual victory made visible. Heaven did not only protect you, it exposed what was hidden, restored what was stolen, and elevated you into a new level of peace that no enemy can disturb. You were not awake when the battle was fought, but you are awake now to witness the results. The four who joined forces against you stand separated not by your hand, but by their own undoing. Their unity dissolved like mist under the morning. Son, and what remains is truth, undeniable divine truth. The first, the one who twisted words against you, now faces silence. Every false sentence he once rehearsed has vanished. Even the tools he used to deceive have turned against him. His phone erases messages, his files disappear, his voice trembles when he tries to speak your name. He doesn't understand it, but his own energy has been turned back upon him. He is not being punished by you. He is being confronted by his conscience. That is my justice, gentle but inescapable. The second, the woman who once stood in mirrors, trying to appear strong, now faces her own reflection in truth. Her image no longer hides her guilt. She feels eyes watching her, but they are not eyes of judgment. They are eyes of mercy, calling her to repentance. Every time she speaks falsehood, her words choke in her throat. She tries to move on, but peace refuses to let her. That is my spirit, reminding her that what she did in darkness must now be healed in light. The third, who drove in anger, who followed out of jealousy, sits now in quiet reflection. His plans have all failed. Every deal, every scheme, every alliance crumbled like dust. And now, when silence fills the air, he hears my whisper. You tried to wound someone who never sought to harm you. You chased what was not yours to fight. His heart softens. Tears fall. Repentance begins. And heaven, seeing sincerity, marks him for renewal. But the fourth, the one who led them, the one who believed he could outthink heaven, now stands in awe and trembling. For when light entered his room, he realized that he was never in control. His papers, his plans, his pride, all vanished in a single flash of divine radiance. Archangel Michael appeared before him not to destroy, but to declare. You planned against what was holy, he said, but heaven plans restoration. You sought power, but you found mercy. The man fell to his knees, speechless. For the first time he saw himself clearly, not as a conqueror, but as a soul in need of grace. And though he carried darkness, I still extended mercy, because even when I judge, my purpose is not destruction, it is redemption. My child, while all of this unfolded, you walked in peace. You didn't need to raise your hand, for I had already lifted mine. You didn't need to defend yourself, for truth spoke louder than any argument. Every force that once worked against you is now serving your testimony. Every person who doubted you will now witness your calm strength and wonder how you survived. And you will simply say, "Because God fought for me before I even knew I was in battle." Look closely at your days now. Notice how doors begin to open without effort. Notice how conversations shift in your favor. Notice how the same people who distanced themselves before now return with softer hearts. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. When heaven finishes a battle, it doesn't leave scars, it leaves signs. Signs of peace, signs of restoration, signs of elevation. My beloved, you are stepping into a new chapter, one built not on fear, but on awareness. You no longer need to fear alliances formed against you, because you've seen what happens when darkness joins hands. It collapses under its own deception. The lesson I give you now is this: never respond to darkness with darkness. Never mirror the malice of others. When you walk in light, shadows lose their strength. When you speak with grace, curses fall silent. When you forgive, you release power that even angels respect. Yes, forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you are free. Bitterness is a chain that binds, but forgiveness is the key that breaks it. When you let go, your spirit becomes unstoppable. As the sun sets on this day, lift your eyes to the sky. The same heavens that fought for you last night still watch over you now. Archangel Michael remains at your side, not just as a protector, but as a witness, a guardian of your next chapter. His sword no longer burns for war, it glows for guidance. From this day forward, you will notice a calm strength within you, the kind that comes from surviving what others never saw. You will move differently, speak differently, think differently. Because once you have witnessed divine intervention, you can never live as though heaven is silent. You, my child, have walked through unseen fire and emerged untouched. That is not luck, that is destiny. The storm you feared became the very proof of your covering. The night that tested your faith became the night that confirmed your calling. Now say these words softly from your heart. Lord, thank you for fighting for me when I couldn't see the battle. Thank you for turning darkness into light, fear into faith, and enemies into teachers. I walk forward with peace, knowing I am never alone. And as those words leave your lips, the heavens echo them back to you. Every syllable becomes light, every breath becomes blessing. My child, this season is no longer about survival. It is about purpose. You were never meant to live in fear of shadows. You were meant to walk in authority, knowing that light is your inheritance. So step into your new beginning with confidence. The alliance has fallen, the storm has passed. The angels still stand guard, and from this day onward, no weapon, no whisper, no plan will ever prosper against you again. Your story is not over. It has just begun. And this time, the world will see not your struggle, but your rise.